put it in the wrong place. This is what the petition is that we've asked y'all to sign when you come in. The Department of Health and Hospitals has come to us as providers, and we care for elderly people, and we do depend on Medicaid dollars to do that. Louisiana ranks second in the nation as being the poorest state in the nation. We're also the highest in the South of people being on poverty. We're talking about children, we're talking about elderly, we're talking about those people who depend on Medicaid for their money. Louisiana, and in all the states, are paid federal dollars based on a federal Medicaid assistance percentage. It is a formula that Congress passed in order to get each state the money that they need. And instead of spreading it out in 1 year, they spread it out in 3 years. Well, what happened was, when the road home money, some $5.4 billion, I can't even think that much money, that much money was counted as income. Now, you and I know that that was money that people used to replace their house, or to have a place to live, or to buy groceries. It was not true income. However, for whatever reason, and I don't understand why the administration couldn't fix it, but for whatever reason, it caused that federal medical assistant percentage formula to be so flawed as to reduce Louisiana's money that we get in from Medicaid by some 42%. It is a lot. By 2010, December 2010, we'll barely get any from the federal government, which means Louisiana doesn't have the money either. As you know, there's cuts coming to education, there's cuts coming to health care. We've already seen some of those cuts this last year. The elderly have seen some of those cuts. There's a lot of our elderly clients who now have a lot fewer hours than they had. But in addition, we got cuts in the amount of money that they paid us. Now, we couldn't cut our worker. We can't cut the overhead that we have to run the program, but they can cut our rate. And we do understand why, because Louisiana doesn't have any money. But the federal government obviously has all they want, because they can send it to China, and they can send it to here, and they can send it to there, and you know, they've got all kinds of money. They can help every country in the world, except our own. And we do have a population that does depend on us. There are children who only have a single parent raising them, who need that medical assistant card. There are elderly whose families live way off somewhere, who have no one to take care of. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to just go to the nursing home, because that's the only thing that I can afford. And there's a lot of people that want to stay at home. That is the American dream, to have your own home and to be able to stay there. This FMAP formula, which is just so skewed because they counted this money that was not true income, and that needs to be fixed. Not only for Louisiana, it needs to be fixed for every state that has a major disaster, such as ours. It needs to be fixed for Mississippi. It needs to be fixed for all the others, for Florida, for those other states that have disasters. And when they do receive that kind of help, it should not mess up their formula that they have federally. Now, you know, I would have liked it if Mary Landry had done a FMAP fix bill and passed it through. I, for one, am sick and tired of them sticking everything on one bill and another bill, and nobody knows what's in it. That is an issue that I hope, if nothing else, the Tea Party gets to the politicians. Quit sticking your stuff on top of something else, and so we don't even know what's in there. We have no earthly idea what's in that budget. the latest thing I heard was some $700,000 going to the study of bees. I mean, you know, we got to be careful where our money's going, and we need to know where it's going. We, the people, need to know where it's going. And it's time that we demanded that information. Anyway, on the FMAP, we're going to send this not only to the Louisiana delegation, because the Louisiana delegation is very familiar with this problem. They've been fighting it for almost a year now. But we're going to send it to every senator and every representative in Washington, because it could happen to them. It could happen to their state. And they all need to be on board, and we need to get this thing fixed so that when another disaster occurs in the state, it doesn't affect the very people who need it the most. Do y'all have any questions about that I might could answer for you, or see me afterwards?
Talking about the amount of money that went to the victims in the New Orleans area, you know how much money that is per family?
Per family, I don't know how much it is.
If I'm not mistaken, it's about $1 million.
You think it's about $1 million per family? I know it was $5.4 billion overall.
I'd like to know where that money went.
Yeah.
Because before we start raising Cain about the F Street, I think we need to take care of some things at home, find out where those dollars went to.
Well, that's two different issues. And we do need to know that from a state standpoint, but every representative in every other state couldn't help us with that. But our local state politicians need to dig through with that. And we do need to demand some answers from them too. We need to know where our money's going. You know, I remember just a few years ago, I didn't care. I didn't think about it. I didn't do anything about it. If I heard it, it came through 1 minute and went out the next, and I never thought about it again. But we need to be thinking about what's going on, because otherwise, well, I think we're going to be surrounded by people and have people running us that we really don't want running us, and have religions that we really don't want thrust upon us. And, you know, I think we're going to be in trouble if we don't stand up. I mean, gathering together, when we went to Washington for that Tea Party rally, it was absolutely exhilarating, because knowing that there are other people in the United States who care about what's happening. I think we've been the silent majority way too long.